All right, good evening. August 27th. A couple things. I think tonight's report will be especially valuable to some of you, I hope. Um, is trading pullbacks a new thing for some of you? While this is just a super dummy system, if you will, it's, just totally made up as something decently easy to follow, and I don't think that there's any real edge behind anything we're doing here or anything like that. Um, I have designed it in a way that you might be pleasantly surprised that I think that if you are following it, you will be learning certain components that will work and serve you well as you ultimately trade the real strategy we're going to teach you over the next 5 weeks. So trading pullbacks is one concept that we use to trade NADRO. We look for areas to get fully breached. We don't take breakout trades. We don't, take a long when we get 3 ticks above the breakout point or anything like that. No, we let things break out, and then we look to trade pullbacks. So in this case, you're letting, the slope of VWAP get a certain way, and then you're looking to trade pullbacks as long as that slope holds. So it's similar in that regard. So in one way, it's training you without you even knowing to begin to see things that way and develop patience to wait for pullbacks. Speaking of pullbacks and things that I'm secretly training you on with this dummy system is to teach you to look for a minimum length to a pullback. One, if you're looking to get long, 1 down bar is not a pullback. 2 down bars is not a pullback. It depends on the length, the time it takes, all those kind of things. And so what I'm trying to get you guys to see a little bit as you complete this exercise is looking for substantial enough of a pullback. And that's going to be a concept that we talk about. There are reports of some people having some really profitable sessions, or at least losing less than they have been. This is one of the things about trading a mechanical type system is that a lot of them you'll just kind of break even or something like that. A lot of them aren't terrible systems that are just going to have you losing inordinate amounts of money. So it's kind of funny to see some people having some odd success with a dummy system. One thing that's really, really important is developing the skill around being able to think through a process for making trading decisions and precisely monitoring the market generated information for confirmation of said methodology or processes. So, I've seen some people who are getting some of the entries wrong and things like that. There is more than a mental framework, or perhaps combined with a mental framework issue going on there, in that you do need to buckle down and continue to beef up that mindfulness and maybe use some checklists even with your process to make sure of some simple things. Because if you can't do the simple things with this methodology, I can assure you you're going to have a hard time with the real NADRO methodology. So you might create a simple checklist that says, are you thinking of entering here? ? And what's going to follow? Think through it right now. What's going to be the next things that you have to ask yourself? For a long entry, were the prior 4 or more bars down bars with the Heikin-Ashi in a row? Oh, they were? Okay. Continue down the checklist. Is the current bar now closing or about to close here as an up bar? Okay, good. Another condition is met. Is the slope of VWAP higher? upward. Oh, it is. Result, press the buy button now. Right? So being very process driven with this methodology that you've been handed is very important. If you find yourself, oh, you know what, I forgot to check the slope there. Oh, you know what, I didn't realize that the slope had changed on my entry bar there. Oh, you know what, that was a 3-bar pullback instead of a 4-bar pullback. These are mistakes. And I understand, and that's not been the priority of this week. The priority of this week is to establish better mental frameworks and better habits and routines and opening up pathways for you to think about your thinking. That's really the purpose of the week. But at the same time, we can be open to realizing, I'm not awake enough here. I need to take a little more conscious control over when I do put a trade on and not just kind of haphazardly say, oh yeah, I think this is a trade, let's put it on, right? Get very precise with this. Now's the time to do that. And, some of that's going to be required of you within a much more complex methodology that is NADRO. Some of you, I'm seeing you're doing some extra stuff, right? That might be just a flat out choice you've made. I do this, I'm going to keep doing this, and I'm going to kind of also do the exercise. Maybe, okay? Go knock yourself out. But for some of you, what might be going on is a real weakness that you're just allowing and making stronger. And that is not sticking with the process. That is allowing yourself to potentially drift away from total conscious control over your decision making, running it through the filter of market generated information, running it through your checklist for your process, and then only making those decisions. Some of you may very well be enabling and making stronger bad habits of doing some things impulsively. Oh, I feel like adding to the trade here, I'll do it. I feel like doing this or that. And a big part of this exercise is proving to yourself that you can execute flawlessly and that you can work on your mental framework in order so that you can continue doing that. So if you're allowing yourself to just kind of willy-nilly do some extra stuff here and there, I think you're actually weakening the results. Practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. Very, very important. So let's look at the trades that were there today. At least 4 bars down. The slope did turn negative, but by the time we turned up, right there on the signal bar, slope is positive again. So we can take the signal. Long here. 1 here, stop. Then we get a short entry. 1, 2, 3, 4 bars up. Get the down bar. Slope is negative. That's a short. Got enough of a pullback here to take one. Enough here. Then our slope goes positive. We get a couple long entries. Here and here. And then kind of a messy sequence here where we get enough of some pullbacks, which don't look good visually to me, but they meet the requirements of the rules, and so they're entries. Here we have at least 4 bars here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a small up bar, so that's an entry. Don't have a sequence of 4 until here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that's a long entry. That stops out, and then our slope is negative, and we get at least 4 bar pullback higher here for the short with the confirming negative slope there. So those are the trades I saw today. All right, a lot of good lessons here, I think. We're starting, maybe some of you are saying, he's not just giving us this stupid system for no reason. He actually thought through he might want to teach us some stuff while we aren't even thinking about it. Well, that's exactly what's going on here. So I just wanted to shed some light on some of that, thinking about trading pullbacks, thinking about seeing enough of a pullback. Those are concepts we're going to continue to work through.